Welcome everyone, this is our weekly podcast on my channel. This is Andres Restart, and I'm joined by some of my friends who are also YouTubers. Brandon from What About Nintendo, Will from Lowell the Deity, and we have a returning guest, Amanda from Mandalee Plays. How you guys doing?
I'm good.
I'm doing pretty good myself.
I'm good as well.
What have you guys been up? What have you guys been up to?
Work.
Work. Yeah, that kind of sums it up for me as well. So, I did start playing this game though. I forget the name of it. Oh man, I shouldn't have even brought it up if I don't remember the name, right? Because it's one of those situations where it's one of the PlayStation Plus games that just came that's available for download. It's not really a game though. It's more like an interactive movie. Hopefully,
It's a walking simulator.
it's a what? Is
Walking
it?
simulator.
It kind of is like a walking simulator. I'm trying to remember the name of it though. I feel like the actress is like the
Beyond. This is Beyond Two Souls. I know
yes,
that's one of the games.
that's it.
Okay.
That's it. Yeah.
All right, we got that out. We can move on.
Yeah, Beyond Two Souls. It's interesting, but again, it feels more like I'm playing a long movie than I am playing a game. So it's kind of just different. It's weird because like you control like this paranormal like spirit or soul, and you can like just move around rooms and like mess with people, like, or choose not to mess with people or possess people, but it's not really constructed as a game because there's a lot of limitations. You can only move in certain places and do certain things, but at the end of each like scenario, it tells you what you did, right, and how your actions compare to other people's actions. Like, let's say you go to a party at a house, right, it might tell you at the end of that scenario, it's like, oh, 50% of people went for the kiss with the boy, 65% of people burned down the house, like stuff like that, and you're like, oh, I didn't even know I could burn down the house, right? Like, it's interesting. So, but at the same time, it feels limiting because, again, feels more like an interactive movie than an actual game, but I'm having fun with it.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
I haven't been doing much.
No.
Just reading a bunch of comic books and still playing a bunch of Yakuza.
Okay.
I've been debating. It's like been an internal debate on whether I should go to E3 or not this year. But that's about it.
You can actually go? That's in the cards?
Oh yeah.
Then go.
It can be expensive to like stay in like California, so
right.
Considering
Well,
it.
but you're gonna go with other people?
Yeah.
Well, what if you guys share a hotel?
I'm still weighing all that stuff out, but
right. Yeah.
Actually, like someone sleep on the floor.
Yeah, I mean, hey, I've gone to a few Pokemon tournaments, and like I used to go with like my college like club, right? And sometimes there was like 10 people in a room, right? Like, so we just slept on the floor and it worked out, and we didn't have to pay that much money.
It's like one night, you'll be fine.
Yeah. Yeah, you're probably gonna spend most of your money on food, actually. Yeah. Well, and then plane tickets. Yeah, plane tickets are probably also really expensive, especially now because we're like a month and a half away, right? Not even like 5 weeks.
Yeah.
So
that will be paid for though.
The plane tickets will be paid for. Oh, so I guess you just gotta worry about food and sleeping with people
and the hotel.
Yeah.
The way you worded it on.
Yeah.
Just food and sleep with people.
Yeah.
I actually did more than usual this last weekend. I went down because I live in Houston, so Galveston, the beach, is like not far from me. So we went down there, like two of my brothers, and we actually rented a hotel. Well, I didn't rent it; they paid for everything because I'm flat broke, and they're not. So it was awesome. I got to do all this cool stuff in a hotel. I had a beachside balcony and all this stuff, hot tub and a pool, and there was the beach. It was great, and it was all for free. It was like the best thing ever.
Hot tub, pool, beach, free.
It was like being rich, but not somehow.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah. So, how about you, Amanda? Have you been doing anything interesting aside from work?
I've just been working on videos and playing games, the usual. I have no life.
Yeah, I've noticed you've been grinding lately. You've been putting out a lot of content, and you just hit 300 subs actually, like a few days ago, right?
Yeah.
So congratulations. I think you're going pretty fast. It's pretty awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah. So for those in the chat, if you guys haven't seen Amanda before, she is an up-and-coming YouTuber, right? She covers video games like we do. She talks about a lot of stuff that's relevant. A lot of it is Nintendo, so if you guys are interested, check out her channel. And of course, if you haven't seen Brandon or Will before, also check them out as well. The links to all their channels are in the description below. So we have a...
I'm back Thursday.
Well, we actually have a few things to talk about, so I'm going to get to it in a moment, but first I guess I'll reference the chat. Hey, Sabbath64, hey, Josh, hey, Roshan, how are you guys doing? Sabbath is saying he lives in LA, so if you were to go to E3, it wouldn't be that much of a big deal. Well, if you can go, you should try and go and let us know what you think of the whole thing. I know it's going to be crowded, but, like, still might be pretty fun. I do kind of have my reservations about the lines, though, so... When I go, I hope I can get, you know, like a media pass and have at least be able to bypass some lines in the future when I ever go, whenever that happens, maybe next year. So, but yeah, let's get this show started, right? So the topics on today's agenda have to do with Gamevice. They are at it again, and they're trying to stop Nintendo Switches from being sold in the United States of America. We're gonna do a bit of speculation on what Retro Studios is working on, because I think it's John Farrell. Hopefully, I'm not butchering his name. He just left recently, and that could mean that they're done with the game or almost done. Then we'll talk a little bit about Tropical Freeze. It just came out recently. We'll just give our thoughts on the port and if it's good or bad, or from what we've heard. And just I have Donkey Kong on Wii U, so my thoughts on that. Then we're going to go over some more quotes from Furukawa, the new president of Nintendo, and what that could mean for the future of Nintendo. I'll bring that up when we get to there. And then we're going to go over Nintendo's E3 floor plans, or just the floor plans for E3 in general, what that may tell us about E3, if anything at all. And then we're going to be talking about a recent job listing that came up that apparently the Zelda team is trying to pick up a new level designer for the next Zelda game, which could have some awesome implications.
I guess I will skip that. Just saw on Twitter that Nintendo launched the save data cloud backup thing for their online.
Did they?
Wait, we can back up cloud saves now?
Holy crap! There's just a bunch of online stuff just came out right now. It's just like hot news, hot take.
Breaking news!
These puppets were not the best.
What? Hey man, we're gonna do some speculation of Retro Studios on the next Zelda and then our best E3 moment. But
all of those things.
It's gonna be more about speculation rather than news. The news part, I'll agree with you, is kind of slow. But okay, let's just look this up then, right? Why not? Let's just do it.
Oh my gosh.
That would be cool.
I'm glad you noticed that, because I would not have checked.
Right, I was.
Right.
So where should I go? The Nintendo's new
Nintendo America tweeted out just now. I'll read it out for you. So it says, online launches this September with save data cloud backup and 20 classic NES games. More to come. That they have new added online play. New pricing and info here. Yeah. So,
where's the voice chat?
I'll throw it up in. Throw it up in the Twitter thing.
This is so we're getting cloud saves and we're gonna be able to play NES games. That's what I'm.
20 NES games apparently.
That's what it's gonna start.
Yeah, that's gonna launch. They're gonna add more regularly. Which is all right.
Okay, I think I found.
They only mentioned the NES, which is that's weird. But...
Yeah, that is.
Yeah, so I have the tweet here. I think you just said it, but I'm gonna say it again because whatever. Nintendo Switch Online launches this September with save data cloud backup and 20 classic NES games, with more to come that have newly added online play. Okay, so it looks like on, I guess, day one, whatever day one is in September, we're gonna have cloud saves and we're gonna be able to play 20 classic NES games that come with online play. And I'm assuming we're also going to get online with that. And they're also saying with more to come. So that means more games to come. I think that's pretty good. But Will, from what you're hearing, like immediate thoughts, what do you think of this initial package?
Go to to someone else.
20 games is very specific. Like, why didn't they just do NES games? Why?
How many? For the NES Mini, how many games were there? I think there was 30, right?
30, yeah.
So I bet most of the games that were on the NES Mini are going to be those games that will be available.
Oh, I found a list of some of them. You want me to read them out?
Sure. Yeah.
All right, so we got soccer. That's literally just the name soccer. Tennis. Donkey Kong, Mario Bros, Super Mario Bros, Balloon Fight, Ice Climber, Dr. Mario, the original Legend of Zelda, Super Mario Bros 3, and then those they said more will be revealed, so we don't know that's what 10. So there's another 10 on top of that aren't revealed.
I'm curious what they're gonna do for online play with Legend of Zelda. What does that mean, right? Because I'm assuming that each game's gonna have online play.
I don't think every game has to have online features.
Maybe it will have like leaderboards or something for like speedruns.
Yeah, that's like the cop out. I think that's safe to expect.
That would be the easy answer. Yeah. It could be. It could. But if we look at the bright side, maybe it is something a bit more interesting. Maybe they kind of make it Four Swordsy, but that would be a big, that'd be a big change.
They don't talk about any kind of virtual console outside of this. So I'm wondering if virtual console is just going to be like, hey, if you want virtual console stuff, pay for this online service, you get it for free.
Yeah, I mean, if you go to Nintendo's website's page, it says the service will launch with 20 games, with new games added regularly. Launch titles include, but within this page, it doesn't specify only NES games. I mean, it's starting off with only NES games, right? But within this page, at least, that I'm looking at, doesn't specify only NES games. So maybe, in the future, that will expand to other stuff. So, yeah, it could mean that we may never get Virtual Console. As we know, it could be dead. But that doesn't mean we won't. Maybe, it's starting off with NES games, but maybe we'll still get other stuff, right? Like, and it says regularly, which could be a weekly basis. We might get like 2 or 3 games every week, like Virtual Console. They just won't call it Virtual Console.
Right. Honestly, I'm pretty happy because I did not expect that we would get like a ton of free games. Like they said we would get some. I was expecting to be like something lame, like 5, maybe 10.
Yeah, because when they first showed off, it was just like 2 or 3.
Yeah, it was just like a couple. So I'm pretty happy because it kind of negates me actually needing to go buy an NES Classic, which I cannot find anywhere in the entirety of the universe for any sort of decent price, and I've been wanting one. So being able to go back and play these games for free with added online features with the NES Mini doesn't have for only $20 a year, like that's good. I'm happy about that. So with more added regularly too.
Right, but how do you think this will work? Do you think it's going to be kind of like a Netflix sort of thing where all these games are going to be available to play immediately? Or are we going to have to download them like a PlayStation Plus sort of thing, but we'll have all of them available? Is it going to be like Xbox Gamers Pass? How do you... Amanda, because I know you play on all 3 systems, like, so I feel like you have a decent idea of how all the online infrastructure works. How do you think this is gonna pan out?
I think they're gonna let you download it as long as you're in the membership. I'm not sure. I don't know. Nintendo's tricky with their stuff, so. They probably is gonna stream it maybe. So maybe that will happen.
Yeah, maybe like the way I could see it like just you see the list, right, and you can pick it and you can download it and you can just play it. So, but does that mean it just stays on? And as long as you can download whatever you want. And it stays on there, and you can have as many as you want as long as they're a part of the service. And as long as you're paying for the service, they're available.
Yeah, that's what I hope. I don't want them to, like, just say each month you get one game, and then you have to switch it out for a different one the next month.
That would be annoying.
Yeah.
Still think Virtual Console is a separate thing.
You think so?
And does exist, yeah.
Okay.
It could be, because this adds online play.
The incentive is that these games that they're adding to the online is the added online, not really the fact that the games themselves exist. For Virtual Console, it's just the fact that the games exist.
Right.
So it's a completely different dynamic.
Right. Honestly, I think it'd be cheaper just to do the online and get them for free than to pay for them all separately, because they're probably going to be like a couple bucks each. And there's 20 to start off with, and well, it's only $20 a year for the service, with more added regularly, and you get them for free. So like, I feel like Nintendo's pretty much just being like, hey, yeah, unless you want to lose out on money or you're not interested in these games at all, like, just get the online service. It's worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna need it for online play anyways, right? But I like the package, like, you know.
Which is stupid.
What's stupid?
Continue, Andres.
What did you say?
I interrupted you. Continue.
No, I was just saying that, you know, it's a good package. I think it's a good package, not considering Virtual Console. Like, I agree that I think we need Virtual Console, or, you know, the ability to be able to play N64, GameCube games, right, Sega Genesis games, stuff like that. That's, although we did get to hear about the whole Sega Ages thing, so that could be a separate thing. We still may get that in the future, but at least in terms of Nintendo stuff, I want to eventually be able to play GameCube games officially, you know, like an actual officially, instead of like hacking my Switch, right? Like, I want to be able to play GameCube games on my Switch eventually.
Right.
Yeah. One day.
So what was the point you were trying to make before, Will?
Oh, it wasn't really a point, just my opinion.
Okay. All right. So let's see what some of you guys in the chat are saying. Hey DK Smash, hey Jared, how you guys doing? Sav is saying he has a feeling the N64 Classic Edition will get announced at E3.
Oh no. Don't get wrong.
I don't know.
I don't think it'll be announced at E3, but I also think that there's a decent chance it is real and it could be coming. Especially since we still haven't gotten news about Virtual Console yet.
Yeah, I want a GameCube one. That's cute.
They usually just, with the classic consoles, they usually just drop them and they're like, oh, I hope they see it. And they don't do it at E3. So
yeah.
They don't even do it in Direct sometimes.
Yeah, it's just like a Twitter or, you know, like Facebook announces, like, hey, look, this is coming in a few months. Everyone get excited.
And somehow the entirety of the universe knows about it. Like,
right, that's social media for you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And DK, I'm actually pretty good. Thanks for asking. Yeah, I mean, I'd be happy about a Nintendo 64 Classic, but that also would mean that it would have implications about Virtual Console being either we have to wait even longer or that it may not come. I'm not sure. So, I guess we'll see what happens, right? I think by the end of the year, we'll have a better idea of what's going on with Virtual Console or lack thereof. So, you guys ready to move on, or is there anything else we want to talk about regarding these, like, you know, breaking news with this online stuff?
Yeah.
I'm good.
It looks alright. It just looks standard.
I would like to say one thing is that they mentioned the Switch Online app again. Why, though? Stop mentioning that.
Is it going to get revitalized? Like, is it going to be, like, fixed, or is it...
I don't know.
Personally, I'm not even sure you can fix it, because it has features that, like, should not be separate. Like, voice chat should not be separate from the system.
It literally doesn't mention any other games working for it than Splatoon 2.
Yeah.
So dumb. I don't know. Maybe they're just talking about it and then they're like, oh, but really, that's no.
So, just overall question for you guys. Would you say that this breaking news, right, it would increases your hype levels for Nintendo's online service or decreases it?
Kind of makes me skeptical. It looks pretty plain. Kind of worried about the voice chat, but
yeah, they didn't have anything about that. Yeah,
a decent price. There's a family plan, which you could add like 7 people, so you guys split that into 7.
Yeah, it does worry me that they still didn't mention anything about voice chat though. Like the fact that they didn't even mention it. bothers me.
And I don't know what they're gonna do with the app. I hope they toss it in the trash and burn it, but
I'm with you there. Yeah, or either that or find a way to make it amazing, which I think is going to be an extraordinary effort that I don't think Nintendo is doing. But
just put it on the Switch. I mean,
yeah,
I'm not a developer, but can't be bad.
I kind of wish the rumor about like Nintendo partnering with Discord was true. I don't think it is true, right? But I kind of wish it was, because if they were to just, put the Discord app, right, and have it being able to run in the background as you play other games, that would be your voice chat, right? Just, update the Switch so you can run Bluetooth and let, Discord handle all of the communication, and that would have been pretty cool. But, I mean, that was a rumor, and I don't think it's true, but,
Yeah, that would solve most of the problem, but Nintendo.
Yeah. It's also possible that they still have a lot to say, right? Like, just because they haven't said all the details doesn't mean they aren't fixing those details, right? So,
but I would think like voice chat is like one of those big things. So they didn't mention it. It kind of worries me.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, but they're at least adding cloud saves, which is nice. Which is good. That is something we've been claiming.
Debatably, that should have been there since the jump. Honestly.
Yeah.
Like,
also
and
true.
The online app is for some reason they still find it relevant, which shouldn't be. Special offers, that's fairly basic. The NES games are like the best thing to come out of this, because we're actually hearing about them at all. So I think it's pretty cool they're adding online to it. Like, I think that's the best part, and even then that's not super exciting. And locking online behind stuff is stupid anyways. But even if I was like 100% behind it, I would be that person that says, "Oh, good job, Nintendo! You're just now catching up." So I mean, it's cool. I mean, but it's kind of expected already.
Yeah, it's kind of like, finally, Nintendo, hurry up.
I don't know. I'm pretty happy with it. It's still a third of the other competitors' price. We get a bunch of free games. I'm glad they actually decided to do cloud saves. That's was something I was like, oh, Nintendo, please please do cloud saves. It's stupid that you haven't. So, I mean, cloud saves is a big deal, especially when you can't really transfer save data between systems at all at this point. So, I
wonder, did they make the Switch with online in mind? Because I feel like they just put something together last minute and said, here.
Well, it was supposed to come out last year, like September of last year. So
I thought it would be included when you bought the Switch.
It might be a third of the price for a reason, if that's the case. I mean, I don't know. Like, I barely notice any quality between the servers, but apparently Nintendo's servers are the lowest of the lowest quality. So the $20, even then, for some people might be too much to ask for.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, whenever I play Splatoon, I have no problems. Whenever I play Mario Kart, I have no problems. And I can play online on my PS4, and I'll get just as many disconnects as I would on the Switch. Like, I don't notice any disparity with lag at all, right, with the different games I play.
Yeah.
So, I would hope that, that at least that money we're putting in does contribute somewhat to the servers, which I already don't notice a big difference with. So, maybe, but even if it stays the same, I don't think it's bad. The only time it's been bad is Smash Brothers, but I have no idea why it's only bad on Smash Brothers, right? Because on Wii U, Mario Kart 8 run just fine. Like, there was other, online games that run just fine, but whenever it's Smash Brothers, it's just terrible, always. So
yeah, I don't know what's up with that.
Yeah, it's weird. I wish I understood. It must be some sort of development thing. I'm not sure. Like, I understand because it's a fast-paced fighting game, it's a little different, but there are other fighting games you can play online that, they work fine. So I wonder. I feel like it has to be more than just that. But I don't know. I'm not a part of the development team at Smash. I'm not even a developer, so I have no idea why that it is what it is. But it is what it is.
But something I think I brought up last week was that they're predicting, losses on their service. Like, they're saying they're going to put in a bunch of money. They're predicting losses up until it actually launches. So obviously they're paying for something, and they're predicted big losses. like not small. Like I'm like, what are they? They have to be paying for like the cloud save like databases or something, or some kind of maybe dedicated servers or something. There's obviously something that's going to be paying. They're paying for that's going to warrant our $20 a year. So it's not gonna be the exact same thing they've given us, but like, oh yeah, oh, by the way, you're also gonna be paying for it now. Obviously, they're improving it in some way.
Yeah. So, are you guys ready to move on?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So let me just, go back to chat for a bit. Hey, Sean from Monolith Gaming, how you doing, man? You can't have my shirt, but I think I got this shirt at Target, actually. I'm not sure, but I'm a fan of my shirt, too. It's pretty awesome. And yeah, Jared, just to be clear, we have not moved on to topics yet. We're now moving on now. The topic we were just discussing was the breaking news about Nintendo's online details, which leaves something to be desired, but there's some cool stuff there. So let's just move forward because there's other stuff to talk about. We're going to be running through most of these topics because I feel like most of them are pretty simple, and eventually we'll get to the bigger stuff, towards the end. But, Brandon, what do you think about this news that Gamevice is at it again, and they are trying to halt, Switch production in the United States? Like, they stopped their initial case about saying that the WikiPad was, the same as the Switch, and Nintendo was breaking that. But now they're saying that the Joy-Cons are literally infringing on the patents of Gamevice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I made a video about this like way back. I in the video I said they probably wouldn't be able to actually do anything, and I kind of feel the same way now. I don't think they're going to be able to do anything. Their patents are so basic, and they're not the same. It's like having a patent for a controller with 2 joysticks. It's like, well, everyone has that. You can't really patent that exactly. Like their patents are like so basic. It's like they cover everything. Like it's not, you can't, the things they're patenting are way too generic to actually like get anything. Like they're cover like all, they could like go over and try to sue like anybody who's ever made a controller with the patents they're putting out. It's dumb. Like it's so retarded. Like the way they work isn't the same. The way they hook up to because don't they make them for phones? They don't even hook up to the phones the same. Like everything about them is not the same. The only thing that's the same is that they're wireless controllers that hook up to a base console. But like, so there's a million of those. Go sue somebody else. Why have you not sued people in the past? There's a million of those things.
Yeah, I kind of want to focus on what you said about how the Joy-Cons, like how different they are compared to any of the technology Gamevice has. Amanda, what's your opinion on that? Like, how do you think they differ?
I'm not really sure. I wasn't really following all that, but I do know about it. And from what I could see, I think they're just in it for to see if they could get something out of it. I don't think it's very solid. It has no basis in reality, really. So,
yeah, I mean, yeah, no, I think you're right. And like, when you think about it, like, why doesn't Gamevice sue all the other companies that also have devices that connect to smartphones, right? That can help you play games. Like, why aren't they suing them? They're not. They're suing the big one because they have the money.
Pretty basic. I don't think it'll go anywhere. But
yeah, I hope it doesn't go anywhere. And historically speaking, it doesn't go anywhere. Right, but they did drop their initial case, and now, I mean, there is some investigation going into this. More so than the previous like attempt to sue Nintendo. So there's a bit more attention being put on this. But again, if you look at the past, if you look at the fact that the Joy-Con is different, I think it's just different. Like I'm not too concerned about it. How about you, Will? Do you have any concerns about the Joy-Cons being too similar or no?
No, I don't. Like, it doesn't. I think I'm on like the bandwagon here where it's like, yeah, these guys are stupid and they clearly want money. But I do think it is like, I think it's possible because pretty sure Nintendo lost the lawsuit with the Wii remote. Not that it matters anymore because the Wii is the Wii is the Wii. So I mean, even if something did come out of it, I think it'd be like that to where if something does happen, it wouldn't matter. It wouldn't matter now, honestly. And I doubt that they can stop the sales in the U.S. That doesn't make sense at all.
That would be so extreme. And I'm sure there's other workarounds too. Like maybe Nintendo just does a slight, change to the Joy-Cons. Maybe they offer Gamevice a sum of money, which is what they want ultimately. But again, it's just so different. Now we would have to take a close look at the patents, which we're not going to do today because we don't have time for that. But it really is very different because the Joy-Cons have other applications. Look at what it does with Nintendo Labo. There's no way Gamevice saw any of that coming. What Nintendo does with the Switch and the Joy-Con devices is so different from what anyone else has done. You have to be kidding me. And the Switch is not even a phone, right? It's a tablet-like design, but it's not even, the Joy-Cons aren't even connecting to phones either. So it's just basically the fact that they're detachable controllers.
Yeah.
Yeah, they lost the one with the Wii and they had to pay $10 million, but again, that's pocket change for a company.
Right, in the grand scheme of things, it's not that big of it's a loss for sure, but it's not. They can get by with, they can get through. So, what do you guys in the chat think? Let's see what you guys think before we move on. Apparently, Striker actually he lives an hour away from Retro Studios. You should go in and ask. I think they won't. They probably won't say anything to you, but hey, you could try, right? Hey, Vegeta-san, how you doing, man? So let's move on because Gamevice is probably not going to get anywhere, but we'll see what happens.
I couldn't finish my point, but I guess it was just going to end the same way anyways.
You didn't get to finish your point?
No, but it doesn't matter.
What were you saying? I'm sorry.
It doesn't even matter.
Okay. All right, so Retro Studios, they may be almost done with the project. Oh, how did that happen? Oh, look at that. I actually moved the topics. All right, so John Verrill has been working with Retro Studios for 2 years. He was working with them, and he was a writer and cinematic designer, and he left. And he put out this tweet when he left. He said, "I've had a wonderful time in Retro Studios. The people there are awesome, and I'll miss them dearly, but it's time for me to return. Salut Montreal. I'll be home May 15th, and I can't wait." So, I read this, and I was like, oh, okay, so it seems like he's leaving, but he never intended on being there for more than 2 years. Will, what do you think? Do you think, based off this tweet, do you think that he left because he left the company, unexpectedly, or was it always the plan to leave, and after 2 years?
The way you said it, it sounds like he always planned to leave, and that the implication is that they're done with whatever project that they're working on. That makes sense to me.
Yeah.
But I know people leave companies all the time, anyways. So I think it's more likely that, but in this case.
Yeah. So then, let's stick to that narrative though that Retro Studios is almost done with their project. What do you guys think it is? Brandon, do you have any ideas on what Retro Studios could be working on now?
What Retro Studios could be working on? The question of the frickin' century, it feels like. Oh
Half-Life
my gosh.
3.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I don't know. It's so hard after they announced that Metroid Prime 4 isn't going to be Retro Studios. That's what everyone assumed they were working on, was Metroid Prime 4, but obviously they're not working on that. So I'm just thinking, I remember that tweet from Nintendo of Italy, I think it was, that they, when there's two, there's a third or something like that, and it was like Donkey Kong. I'm just like, yeah, they're probably making a Donkey Kong game. As much as they seem to not want to make their own game, I honestly think they could be making two projects. I think one of them is a Donkey Kong game, and one of them is their own new IP. I just think they said that somebody at Nintendo, I think it might have been Miyamoto or somebody, I don't remember who exactly. They said that Retro Studios is definitely big enough to make two projects at once. So I think they're working on Donkey Kong and something else. And I'm not sure what the other thing would be. But if the dude left and that means that he's done, then maybe they'll announce it at E3. I feel like we say this every E3. We're like, oh, yeah, Retro's gonna announce something.
Yeah, this is the time. But Amanda, considering what Brandon was saying, that there could be 2 projects and maybe one of them is Donkey Kong, what would you want, or what do you think could be their other project?
Realistically, I think it's Donkey Kong, because they just did the Tropical Freeze, so I'm guessing another one's in the mix. Maybe I can't think of another game that pops in my head that's made by Retro.
Well, it is just Metroid and Donkey Kong.
Yeah, maybe it's something new, like a wacky game or something like that. Like a party game. Mario Bros?
I think they have so much, because Metroid, you look what they did with the Metroid, right? And you look what they did with Donkey Kong. They're so different. Right? But I feel like the running theme with them is that whatever it is they do, they come at it, at least from an artistic standpoint, and they tackle it in a way that no one has ever tackled that before. So whatever it is, I think it's going to be a beautiful game that's going to look very different. But what it could be, yeah, I mean, your guess is as good as mine. I have no idea what it could be. Will, do you have any ideas what they could be working on? What do you think?
I think Donkey Kong is a safe bet.
Yeah.
Like a really safe bet. Nothing.
I just hope it's more than just another 2D Donkey Kong, because I feel like they haven't been working on anything for so long. And the idea that they just made another platformer, which I feel like would be really similar to Tropical Freeze if they just made another 2D Donkey Kong, another Donkey Kong Country,
right? They just re-released that game. So I feel like it would have to be, if it is a 2D Donkey Kong game, it can't come out this year. That's just too much 2D Donkey Kong in 1 year.
Maybe it's like a 3D Donkey Kong game.
Surely, I know that I'm pretty familiar with them, and I know that they do great stuff, and I would like for it to be something really ambitious, like maybe an Anthem.
Donkey Kong Adventure game. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at the chat, right? And Sean from Monolith Gaming, he's saying he hopes it's a AAA FPS, right? Which would be cool. Maybe they could do something along the lines of maybe they could create a battle royale game for Nintendo, but I don't think that's what they're doing, because they probably have been working on this for a few years already, right? But
that's boring.
But he also said maybe it's F-Zero, which I would love. I would love an F-Zero game, and what excites me about that possibility is because I think to somewhat of a degree it makes sense, and only because in the game, Retro's only worked on the Metroid series and the Donkey Kong series in terms of developing a whole game ground up. However, they also spent some time working with Mario Kart 7, and in fact, I believe they developed half the tracks in Mario Kart 7. So then, maybe they built up some good racing game experience with that, and that could lead to a new racing game. Maybe F-Zero, maybe they bring back F-Zero, or maybe they bring back Wave Race. I think they could do that, and I think they could do some really special stuff with that. What do you guys think about the possibility that Retro's actually making a racing game, which is, something that maybe people didn't expect, considering what they've done in the past?
I don't think it's likely at all, 0%, but that would be cool. Knowing their ability, that would be epic. That would be super awesome.
Yes, it would be super, super awesome. But again, like you said, there's nothing that really gives us. I'm pulling out straws here, right? It's just kind of speculation. There's no tangible evidence that suggests otherwise.
Right. I feel like a lot of people have the idea that they're doing F-Zero. I don't know why, but it's
because we want it,
right?
Yeah.
I've never played F-Zero, which is a huge hole in my gaming library.
Right.
So if they are making one, I'd definitely pick it up to try it out. Hopefully it's as good as the older ones.
Did you play the Wii U one?
What was that called? Fast RMX?
No, I think we're talking about wrong game.
Okay. You said on the Wii U?
Thinking of Star Fox.
Yeah. I'm like,
what? I was like,
actually, I would love it if they were to tackle Star Fox. I feel like Retro Studios could definitely do something special with Star Fox. Like
Star Fox Adventure.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of people that hated Star Fox Adventures, but I love Star Fox Adventures. I did wish it had more space, actual flying segments until just the very end, but minus that one, which is kind of a big con. I love the game, and if they were to make another Star Fox adventure game, I mean, I don't even need to be an adventure game. I just a Star Fox game in general, where there's flying, and maybe a kind of more like a Star Fox Assault, but Retro Studios having their take on it, I would love it, and it should definitely have online this time.
That game, man. That game. I both loved it and hated it. The boss fights in the dungeons suck. They were so bad. I feel like there were so many problems with that game, but it had the potential to be really good. And I think if they made a new one with Retro Studios, that could be really fun, because there were some I liked the actual mechanics of it, and running around and exploring a Star Fox, just Fox McCloud would be really, really cool. It was really, really cool back in the day. So, and I thought it looked really good too. So it's just there's so many problems. I hope they fix it. The dungeons I felt could have been a lot better. The boss fights were just they were timing, button presses and stuff, quick time events. They sucked. It was kind of confusing sometimes what you're supposed to do. So I think if they revisited that and did it right, it could be really fun. But the original one's sort of a mess in some areas. And as you said, there's no space battles.
Yeah. Just one thing that I think Star Fox Adventures absolutely got right, and that was the grass. Star Fox Adventures had the best grass, and it has not been trumped since, Breath of the Wild is the only game to have better grass than Star Fox Adventures. It had the best grass. Just saying, just random detail, but I just had the best grass.
It did.
Yeah. Actually, had really good fur physics too.
Yeah, for the time, it was really good.
Yeah, absolutely. So then, do you have any other sort of ideas as to what Retro Studios could be working on? Or are we all out? Are we just kind of hoping maybe something cool, but I guess we really don't know what, right?
Yeah, it's far. There's not nearly enough information.
Yeah,
there's not enough information.
Yeah, so maybe we'll get surprised this year at E3, but then again, we've sort of said that very same question since 2014.
Forever.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So I guess we'll see what happens. But let's see what everyone in the chat thinks, and then let's move on. Hey, Cannibal Games. Hey, EGG. How you doing, man? Shuntaro Furukawa. We got the president of Nintendo up in here. He's an avid viewer of the podcast, so check him out.
Goody.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Star Fox Assault was a really fun multiplayer game, and if they were to take that online, they could really do something special on the Switch. But we'll see what happens, right? So then, let's just talk a little bit more about Tropical Freeze, though. So the game just came out, right? And there's been some controversy about its value, but overall, it's still a great game, and it was a great game in 2014. I loved it. I actually got it for $20 on the Wii U, but I'll save my opinions on that. Brandon, what you were just telling me earlier about how you actually realized that you spent $140 on Mario Kart 8 between the Wii U version, the Switch version, and the DLC. But you also told me you're really interested in maybe getting Tropical Freeze. So what are your thoughts on this whole thing? Do you feel like you might be one of those people who might double dip, or what's going on?
Oh, I really want to. I saw...
We all have to do it at one point.
Right.
I'm doing it 3 times with Hyrule Warriors. So.
Oh man, I'm definitely getting it in a few weeks, but it's gonna be the first time for me.
A triple dip.
Wow.
So, well, Fire Emblem Warriors too, so that's like a quadruple dip.
Oh, does that count? I don't think that counts.
It's a 3.5 dip.
Yeah, there you go.
It's still a lot of dips.
2.5.
Yeah, but Donkey Kong is, oh my gosh, that's like my favorite 2D platformer. That game is like my favorite 2D platformer of all time. It was so good, so I might have to double dip. It's just like, when I think about it, I'm just like, oh, but there's so many other games I'm looking forward to, and there's things for the channel. It's just like, I don't have enough money to double dip. But definitely, if I had more money, I would double dip instantly. I saw somebody like do like super high quality, like 1080p footage of it. And I was like, oh my gosh, this game looks so good. I was like, in the Funky Kong mode, I thought it was going to be like really dumb, but it kind of adds some. I thought when I saw people playing it, like it adds like speed run stuff, and I thought it looked really cool because you could just like fly straight through a stage, just like break the entire game. I thought that was really fun if you're just into speed runs and stuff, and I kind of like that kind of stuff, so I thought that was fun. Not really enough for me to pay $60 for it, even though I think the game's worth $60 if you haven't played it. If I'm gonna double dip, it's kind of annoying that I have to pay more than I paid for on the Wii U, but I would have paid $60 on the Wii U, so I don't think it's that big of a deal. It's just kind of like shady move on Nintendo's part. So I get why people are upset about that. It's just like, I feel like the game's worth that much anyways. I feel like if I paid $60 for it, I feel like I didn't pay enough. The game's worth, oh my gosh. It's like every level is amazing in that game. I don't think there's ever a level I played in that game that I didn't like absolutely love. Like there wasn't a level I was like, oh my gosh, this level's annoying, or it's tedious, or it's filler, or anything like that. Like none of the game feels like that way. So I feel like that game is like almost perfect. I say almost because I feel like no game can be perfect. So it has to be not perfect, but I don't know how. Like I want to say it's perfect, but I know that there's probably some way it's not perfect. But it's just so good.
I think you should get the game. It's like you have this passion for it.
Yeah.
I should pick it up. I'm so broke.
Yeah.
Yeah, that nearly perfect.
Yeah. But if memory serves me correct, I do not think Will had a Wii U. So then, are you interested in Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze?
Not at all. I will skip that game.
Oh, oof. Why?
No, I'm just joshing you.
Well, I mean, you don't have to get it, obviously.
Oh, so you're saying you don't want me to get it? That's fine.
Oh, well, I mean, I just...
You don't want me to support Nintendo? I see. No, I'm just kidding. The game looks really good, and I didn't play it on Wii U, but I'm kind of like Brandon, where I'm like, knowing it was like what $50 on the Wii U, and bringing it here now, and it does kind of seem like we're in that middle transition to where it's like, okay, this is just filler. We're filling it out to keep the sales consistent and stuff. I'm waiting on Octopath right now.
Oh my god, I'm really interested in that game. Yeah, no, I get you there. But it is, if you haven't played it, I think it's a fantastic game though. I love Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, but again, I got it for $20 on the Wii U.
I'll wait for the price drop.
Right. And I got it a couple years ago, right? It's 2018. It's $60. So it's a tall. I think here's the thing though, right? Even though I know that you can make an argument that, hey, why is it like this? Most people don't have a Wii U, right? So, and it's portable on the Switch, and the graphics have been improved a little bit. It has funky mode, which isn't that much new content, but as a standalone package, not considering the Wii U, it's a fantastic game. I think it's worth $60 considering. If I just forget the Wii U version existed, I think it's a great package.
Yeah, if you haven't played it, I definitely recommend it.
That just sounds like what Nintendo would tell me. Like, I mean, okay. No offense to you. I didn't mean anything by that, but like, if you guys see on Twitter, Nintendo is like trying to delete every trace that it ever existed on Wii U, and they're like, "Hey, casuals, go to the Switch and buy it for $60." And it's like, that is a little shady. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I 100% believe it's like a really good game, and it looks like really good. I'm actually compelled to buy it like tomorrow, but I just there's just a few things that are stopping me.
I think the price will drop. That's what I. It'll drop soon.
I mean, like, I said I got Donkey Kong for $20, right? But it initially sold for $50. Eventually, it did drop in price, so maybe the same will happen again, and it'll drop in price. And eventually, I guess there will be kind of like a Nintendo Selects or something like that, where we can get them at a lower price.
Yeah, I definitely think it's shady that they released it for $60. But honestly, if it hadn't been on the Wii U, which was dead and dying, and they're just desperately trying to resurrect it by putting out games for cheaper, it definitely would have been $60. Had this been a new game on the Switch, it would have been $60. It wouldn't have gone down in price so soon. That game was dropped so soon because it was on the Wii U and nobody had a Wii U, and 2D platformers are kind of a niche audience.
I think
a
lot of
so
games
it sold
on Wii
like
U.
crap.
Yeah, but I don't think did it sell like crap?
Kind of did.
I don't think it sold as well as the original, but
yeah.
But even 3D World, its price was dropped after a little while as well, right? There were a lot of $20 games that were made available on Wii U. I think it just waited a couple years or so. I have to double check how long it took, but I think they were just doing that because they needed to somehow help the Wii U do better.
Yeah, and it didn't work.
Yeah, which also might mean that maybe Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze on Switch won't drop in price anytime soon because it may not.
I've been hearing
need
it's selling
the price
really
drop.
well.
Yeah, that's the thing.
It's selling way better than the Wii U version, from what I'm hearing.
But it's like a port, so it didn't really have that much work put into it. So I thought 49 would be a ballpark, or $39.
I think at this point they're just trying to recoup costs because I'm sure they lost a bunch of money on the Wii U one.
They're punishing us for not supporting the Wii
U. Yeah. Well, I think it's a great game, but I'm not getting it on Switch because I already had it on Wii U. And I think it's going to be like that for a lot of people, but there's also a lot of people who probably don't care, are going to buy it for $60, and it's going to do really well regardless.
Yeah. I'm going to pick it up for sure when it's price drop.
Because I haven't played it, so.
Right. It just seems like fodder for the casuals, honestly. So, yeah.
Yeah. So, let's move on. Let's see what you guys think in the chat. So, Furukawa is saying, stop saying it wasn't on Wii U, but it was on the Wii U. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
But,
as president, I know it was on the Wii U. No, I'm just kidding.
Savis is saying that Captain Toad is going for $40 on Switch. Interesting.
Yes, it is.
That's about right.
Also,
it's $40 on Wii U.
I saw that.
Was that the price?
I believe so.
I don't remember. I bought it, but I don't remember the price.
Oh, it was $40 on the Wii U for sure.
Cool.
Because I bought it. I know. Yeah.
It's on the DS too.
Yeah, but I don't care.
No, it looks cute though. So.
It's on the Switch. It's gonna be better.
So I saw earlier. I think Vegeta-san was asking if we would ever cosplay on the podcast, and
I'd have to actually go get some cosplay first.
I've never cosplayed before. I do.
Halloween costumes count as cosplay.
Rarely even dress up for Halloween. It's been years. So
right, I haven't done it since I was 11, but I did dress up as Link one year, so maybe that counts as cosplay.
You would be a good Link. I see it.
I dressed up as Harry Potter once when my hair was shorter. I had round glasses too, so it worked. But I guess that counts as cosplay. I don't know. I'd be down.
I'm not
the only one.
If I go to a convention, I might consider doing it. Maybe
I feel like that's when I wouldn't want to do it at a convention. I don't know why.
I feel like I could be a pretty good Luffy from One Piece. I would just have to draw a little scar because I have black hair, and if I put on a hat, it'll look pretty similar, right?
Right.
Because I have a tan, it looks like I'm always on the sea, so it kind of works out, and the clothes are pretty simple. So yeah, I think I could be a pretty good Luffy from One Piece. So maybe I'll do that sooner or later, but I don't think I'll do it on the podcast. But we'll see. You never know what'll happen in the future. So, not gonna promise anything, but I'm also not gonna say it'll never happen. So, yeah. But yeah, are you guys ready to move on?
Yeah.
All right, so I just called the topic more Furukawa, which is actually kind of bad, probably a bad name, but basically, you know, I kind of want to focus on. There's quite a few things that that came out from the investors meeting this week, right? More stuff, and basically what I want to focus on though is this one paragraph here that I'm just gonna read it, and then I'll just ask what you guys think about it. But so this is what he said. All right. The company will be managed by the members of a new executive management committee under a next-generation collective leadership system. Mr. Kimishima has shown through his own actions what it means to manage a company collectively rather than relying on the efforts of a single person, and I understand my role as one of continuing on that same course. We have executive officers in charge of hardware development, in charge of software development, and in charge of sales and marketing. They will have their different strengths, so I intend to have frequent one-on-one conversations with them, share any background or context behind how things are done, and do everything I can to be mindful of engaging in management together as a team. So basically what I take from this is that, you know, they're really restructuring how they, you know, manage all their projects, and I heard that, you know, that Furukawa was putting together a committee, you know, of directors together, so, and they're going to be communicating with everyone. It really sounds like they're really trying to further streamline the development process and the planning and the marketing for all of Nintendo's projects. And we may not notice those effects immediately, but I feel like that was a really loud whistle. Yeah, but I feel like this is going to have huge effects in the future. So, Will, actually, you know, what do you think, right? Because we're starting to see the benefits of, you know, when Iwata sort of pushed the unification of the gaming divisions, right? We see more games from Nintendo now. How do you think this will further impact Nintendo going forward?
I'm not gonna lie, that just turned into like a blur for me, because it just sounded like I am the new president. I am going to take care of this company like no one else took care of it before. It's like, yeah, but like that's kind of what I expect. I don't know. I don't know what to make of it, but I don't have any worries that he's going to do a good job based on what he's saying, based on what I've read personally and what the little bit I could hear what you just said.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's kind of PR speak in a way. It's like you don't know if he actually means what he says, and what he says is pretty generic and just like kind of hard to make out. But you know, I've read a lot of different interviews on you know, what he said, what people have said about him and stuff, and it seems that he's much more of, you know, a gamer than you know, the previous president, who's some Tatsumi Kimishima. I'm not sure why his name slipped my mind for just a second there. But yeah, he's much more of a gamer than, you know, Tatsumi was. And he kind of shows in some of his interviews when he talks about it. And he seems to understand the fact that he said in different interviews, I don't know if he mentioned in this particular interview, but in many different interviews, he kind of talked about how, you know, customers don't need Nintendo. They don't. Like, you could just live your entire life and never play Nintendo, and you wouldn't, you know, you wouldn't really be lacking in health or anything like that. Like, you don't need Nintendo. Nintendo's fun, but they're just entertainment. So he kind of put that in perspective, and he kind of said, like, yeah, we're going to be for the consumers. We're going to try to do things to make the consumers happy and have a great time and constantly be, you know, surprised and excited. And these are the kind of things he was saying. So I think in that way, he'll probably do better than Tatsumi. Maybe he'll come up with even more new ideas, even though Tatsumi kind of, you know, was good on letting the younger management do things and come up with ideas. I think Furukawa will continue that and just focus on fun and everything Nintendo's actually about. And I think this president kind of understands that more than Tatsumi, even though Tatsumi he didn't really understand it too much, I think, but he kind of just let people do what they wanted. And that way he didn't really have to understand it. But I think this president kind of understands how gaming works more. And I think he'll come up with his kind of own ideas and ways of making Nintendo new and exciting and for the fans.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That was really good.
Yeah.
Thank
you. So Amanda, like, how, like, I guess, how would you envision some of these changes, like, making Nintendo better? Like, what would you like to see, like, improve from Nintendo? Like, what do you think could actually be made better?
Well, first of all, I think they should be more relaxed on the IPs and sharing them. Maybe communicate more with everybody, like be more open, like kind of like a Microsoft kind of vibe.
Transparent.
Be more like in this century. Like be more lax with the copyright strikes and really see the potential of YouTube and Twitter and everything else, and not just copyright everybody with the lightning bolt. So I hope they relax more and get more better business practices.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. There's certainly things that they can do that they can to make things better. They need to modernize themselves a bit, right? So I see that. Like, I think Nintendo should loosen up their effort, their constant, like, copyright claiming efforts. Like, it feels like just a cash grab to me, because it does marketing for them, and it would, more people would stream Nintendo games if they weren't so tight on those copyright claims, for sure. And the online infrastructure is also something they need to modernize, for sure. I think those are things that hopefully change in the future, and maybe these management changes will lead to that. I think that the game development will become a bit more smarter, though. They'll be a bit smarter about what games they decide to develop in the future, though. So, which is kind of different. It's not necessarily modernizing, right? But it is hopefully making the quality of their games more consistent and even better than they already are, which I'm pretty excited about.
Yeah. You make a great point there. Their YouTube policies are just crap. They are absolute crap. Like, they don't see the potential of YouTube somehow. And I think that this president, he's so much younger. He kind of understands these things more. Maybe he even watches YouTube himself. Who knows? But I feel like the younger people kind of understand more about social media and YouTube and different things. Hopefully they'll relax on that, because it's not hurting for you to put Nintendo content up. It's helping Nintendo for you to put Nintendo content up.
My live stream, I'm like, I don't even monetize anything.
Right? Yeah. They're just like, hey, look, free money.
So they get the ad revenue from my live stream. I'm like, I don't get it anyway, so I guess have it. But
yeah,
okay. So I just took it down. I was like, I'm not going down like this early. So, like,
Yeah. Well, do you have an opinion on this, or do you think well, you said earlier that you just think it's kind of just your standard PR speech. Do you have any other thoughts to shed on this, or is it pretty much?
I kind of agree with what everyone has said. Like, they should just, for the most part, I think it's just the corporation, and to be even like more specific, it's like the Japanese branch, because I know like over here they sort of roll them under the bus when something bad happens. So that part of them needs to really modernize and improve. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so, I mean, I think we have kind of a general consensus here that Nintendo needs to modernize, and hopefully these changes will benefit, but I do sort of kind of agree that, a lot of it is just sort of your typical PR speech, but some of it might actually, be positive stuff, like real positive stuff, but only time will really tell, right? So, I guess we're done with this topic. Is there anything else we want to say on it before we move on?
Nope.
All right. So let's see what's going on in the chat here. Let's see. Savas is saying we need directs like every 3 months. Yeah. Vegeta-san is saying when you beat Master Hands in the upcoming Smash, it shows a movie of a scene that turns out to be a WADA. That would be heartfelt. I don't know if that'll happen. I'm pretty sure you're joking, but like, yeah, it would be. I don't think Iwata's ever going to be a Nintendo game, since he actually passed away. Like, I know, especially in Japan, they're very particular about death, like even more than we are. So, I think they'll be very cautious about representing Iwata, like, ever, in the future, because he passed away the way he did. So, am I the only one that I don't know if this is confirmed, right? But I'm pretty sure in Brain Age, that's Iwata, right? Like, all of the Brain Age games, that is Iwata's face. Like, I was actually talking with a friend earlier, and I was kind of like, I want a Brain Age on Switch. Like,
we are lagging a lot.
We're lagging.
We're jumping between frames and stuff. It's like when you talk, you blink for like a really long time, and then you're just talking. Yeah, I can see what they're talking about.
Yeah, that's unfortunate because my OBS is saying he's at a locked 30. I don't know what to do.
It may be YouTube side.
What I can do is exit my browser. But that
it's not that bad.
Well, yeah.
Oh wow, it is bad.
Oh.
I hear the audio is good, which is the more important part.
Important part. But I am going to put up a just moving forward to the E3 floor plans now. Hopefully, at least you guys can hear us, right? And hopefully it'll smooth out sooner. But I want to put this single image that I just picked up of the E3 floor plans. And I mean, to be honest with you, I don't think it's that big of a deal. But it could maybe spark some conversation about what's going on with E3.
I tend to agree, actually, since we have sort of talked about it before. Those plans came out a while ago, and we brought it up in the beginning of one of our podcasts, and I basically said that this sort of implies that Nintendo's E3 will be just as big as like last year's. So.
Right, because the floor space is pretty much the same. I just put up on the screen for you guys, for those who are watching. Yeah, it's pretty sure it's like literally the same as it's been the last few years. In the last few years, Nintendo has had quite a show, actually, right? They've made it kind of like a little bit of a mini theme park the last couple of years, and we kind of already know Smash is going to be the theme this time around. So my speculation is that, it'll be sort of like a Smash theme park.
Right.
I want to go so bad.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, what are you doing, man? Get over there. Vlogging.
I still don't know. So much money. It's money flying everywhere.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I know it's expensive.
Park. That just sounds amazing.
Yeah. But if you do go, you should also cosplay for Vegeta. Yeah.
Oh, I would. I don't know. I don't know who I'd be. I don't know. That would be cool though.
You know who you could be? You could be Farmer with a shotgun.
Yeah, I'd be that guy. But I would have to be like super short and stout.
Just kneel all the time.
No.
Well, so Farmer with a shotgun is a meme character. I mean, he's a real character, but he's just like a really unimportant character in Dragon Ball that you see for like a moment, and then he dies because an alien comes in. He's like, "Oh, where is Goku?" And then he just has a shotgun, and he dies, right? So, but in that scene, his knees are sort of like curled down, so you maybe you could just walk around like kind of like a crab the entire time, dressed up as a farmer with a shotgun.
He's short, anyways. What? Okay, Goku, not Goku. You guys know those guys that dress up in the Kirby like costumes? They have to walk around on their knees all day.
I didn't know that actually.
That's bad for your knees, man.
It's terrible. No.
That's torture. Should be illegal.
No, like, honestly, though, I agree with you that, like, if you're going to dress up in a costume, it should be, like, something that's comfortable.
Yeah.
Especially if you're going to be in it all day at a convention.
Some people just take pictures and just...
Yeah, I just take pictures with other people who are my favorite characters.
I'll be like, take a picture. Okay, bye. Take a picture. Bye.
Yeah.
I wanna take a picture with a really cringy like Sonic cosplayer. Sonic cosplay is so terrible.
Oh my gosh.
Sonic cosplay is so terrible. Oh my god.
I think it's always hard to get hair right? Like, because whenever you try to copy a cartoon character's hair, it's like impossible to make it look natural. So every time I see it, it just looks bad.
It's not even like the hair, honestly, most of the time. Like Goku, I would say
character's blue.
Goku, I would say the hair is like impossible.
Yeah,
but Sonic, some people play it off.
Hair defies physics.
Right.
It really does. It really does. Because the thing is that for hair, well, at least for hair, right? Like, it's, if you want to spike it up, you have to put like crazy gel in it, and you can see the gel. Like, it looks hard, right? But in an anime, it's flowy and natural, but it's still flowy and natural sticking upwards, and that's, I don't know how to emulate that, and that's probably why all cosplays that do that are bad.
You have to wear a wig.
Yeah. Make it look like an afro.
Yeah. Oh.
Yep.
What if Goku's hair is an afro? That's interesting.
Japanese afro.
Yeah, Japanese afro. That'd be cool.
They have wigs like that.
I mean, Saiyan afro or whatever.
Yeah. So then, I don't really think there's much to say about the E3 floor plans. I just kind of wanted to use it as an opportunity to talk about what we might see at E3. Or kind of, sort of start like warming us up for our E3 conversation that should probably already be happening. So let's just skip this topic because we already kind of talked about it. Unless there's anything you guys want to say to that. Nope. Okay, cool. Let's see what you guys are saying in the chat. Sal is saying take a picture with Sonic. Did you?
Oh my god, that's my dream. Just take a picture next to some terrible Sonic cosplay.
You have some weird dreams.
It's so bad. It's just so bad.
So bad.
Yeah, that's you may need to get that sorted out. But so all right, so now apparently a hiring listing came up that shows that the Zelda team is hiring a new level designer for The Legend of Zelda. And this alone, to me personally, I don't think is like really big news, but it kind of spurs up more interesting conversation because it does look like they are pushing to improve the level design for the next Zelda game, which level design is always great. But Brandon, I mean, you and me have had this discussion. We've all had the discussion before, but you feel that there are certain things that they could change that they sort of did in Breath of the Wild, in particular with level design, especially like with the shrines. Do you mind sort of, expanding upon that?
As far as level design itself, it's tricky. It depends, like, is this a 2D game? Is it a 3D game? Are we assuming? Could we go for both?
For sake of conversation, let's just talk about 3D.
Okay, just for 3D then.
Yeah.
I think the main issue with Breath of the Wild as far as level design is the divine beasts. Like, they're great if they were, like, just shrines. Like, if they were divine beasts where, it counted as, like, 5 shrines or something. Or, like, maybe it'd be a divine beast, but you get, like, an entire, set of 4 spirit orbs. Something like that. They're just shrines, not actual dungeons. Because they function fine as big shrines, but that's all they are. They're just bigger shrines. They don't even take that long. They're not really any different. They're not really, like, super, like, mind-blowingly different than any of the other shrines in the game. They're just longer. They have some cool mechanics, that make them separate, but like we need actual dungeons, like actual real dungeons. Like get on that.
I think some of the dungeons. You go first, Amanda.
Maybe it was a little too complicated at times. Like maybe they could except the shrines were frustrating at times because they were just so annoying. I can't get that ball into that hole. It's just. Oh my gosh. But
really? I never got annoyed during the shrines themselves.
Easy, I kind of missed the dungeons because they were less puzzly, except for the ice block challenge. Oh, cow. The one in Twilight Princess was.
So, I feel like Skyward Sword, right, to me, was kind of where they sort of, in terms of that Zelda design, the dungeons themselves were some of the strongest, right? Like, one of my favorites is I forgot the name. I must love it a lot if I can't remember the name right, but the Ancient Cistern.
Yes, that's my favorite too.
Yeah.
That one's good.
Yeah, because
awesome.
And I think one of the special things about it, though, right, makes it really different from the shrines is that it has like these different themes, right? Like the above part is like an aquatic sort of, you know, temple that has a lot of these sort of like ancient runic stuff. But then if you go to the deeper levels, right, it's this very like demonic, hell-bent zombie world, right? And it's kind of like there's this crazy duality, you know, and you see multiple really interesting themes. Whereas with all the shrines, the theme is very similar all the time, and that's kind of something they went away with, you know, with in Breath of the Wild. I kind of wish they sort of go back to for the next game.
Well, yeah. It kind of highlights the, you know, differences between a linear game and what you sacrifice if you want a more open world game. So hopefully meeting in the middle somehow would help stuff.
Yeah, and I think it's possible. I think they can still create that open world experience, but also have those dungeons that we kind of got in the, you know, in a linear Zelda game. But I also think that the shrines were smart though, because the way it was done, I feel like for the most part, right, like if you didn't want to do a shrine, you could just choose not to do it. Like they weren't a requirement. Whereas all the dungeons in previous Zelda games, like you had to go through them, right? You need to go through those dungeons to beat the game. And most of the shrines in Breath of the Wild, they're optional. So I feel like maybe they could find a happy balance between that, right? Because I do think there could be a lot of optional little mini dungeons, but at the same time, there probably do have to be some things that are mandatory to beat the game.
Well, the fact that they were optional, I kind of skipped a lot. So my health bar was kind of just at 13 for the Master Sword.
Okay.
It was kind of difficult beating tougher bosses, but yeah, I mean, in Skyward Sword, they didn't really have to tackle an open world. They could focus on the dungeons. But I guess they kind of had to put their resources somewhere else for Breath of the Wild. So hopefully, you know, that all changes with the new level designer.
Yeah, maybe. And my personal hope, right, is that because of what they did with Breath of the Wild, they spent a lot of time on the physics engine, right? So hopefully, since that's already sort of established, that they don't have to put as much time into that, so they could put in more time and resource into, you know, really focusing on more dungeons and side quests in the next Zelda game, which I think would make it even bigger than the hugeness that's Breath of the Wild. So I'm pretty excited about that. But Will, is there any sort of changes that you would like to see in the next Zelda game in terms of like the levels and dungeons?
No, I think what we got was fine. I just don't think each dungeon, quote unquote, or Divine Beast was super original. Like they all had the same gimmick. With the other Zeldas, there's usually like a gimmick, but it's like really, really good. And also like in Breath of the Wild, you can use the same gimmick to get through the dungeon. It's not fun at a point. Like after the first one, you're like, oh wow, that's a really cool idea. And then like the second one, you're like, this is still kind of cool. Hopefully the next one is different, and then you do two more, and it's
it's not different.
I got your picture of Sonic.
oh yeah.
Oh my god, that's so ugly.
He looks so satisfied. He looks so satisfied, though. That's what I love about it.
I have this.
Oh my gosh, I see it. It's so bad.
I love
Looks like she likes it though.
Yeah, he's so satisfied. Like he's like, oh, I did a good job.
I feel like we have to show this picture on the podcast. We can't keep people out of the loop.
Yeah, so I requested that Andre show it to you guys. You're welcome.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull it up in a moment.
Yeah, I think it's a she, not a he.
Oh, it is.
Is it?
Yeah, I mean the lens. I can't tell.
I cannot tell.
Give me a second, guys.
They look so satisfied. I really want to take a picture with that person.
It looks like a Joker, like costume.
It's terrible.
Heath Ledger Sonic.
It's really bad. It's really bad. I still haven't pulled it up yet because my computer sucks. Hold on, because it's actually like a weird file, so I have to like clip it. This is This is like the scourge of existence. Like I now know why you're having terrible nightmares. This is like straight out of like those clown movies. I'm literally putting it as Sonic in my that's what I'm saving it as, Sonic and not Sonic. All right, so now I'm putting up, guys. The suspense can now end.
That's hilarious. It's just so funny how bad Sonic cosplay is. Like, they don't, like, they look like nothing in the world can get to them, even though the cosplay is so bad. I would like.
This is it.
I
guys.
admire that person. I seriously admire that person.
This is it. Yeah. So it's pretty disturbing. You know.
Yeah.
We should put up a warning.
No, I should have put up a warning. I'm sorry, guys. You're gonna have nightmares now. Like it even has like the kind of like the Joker sort of like smile thing going because he.
Oh yeah, it has it drawn on. Oh.
It does.
Like
One
he was trying to get like that long smirk that Sonic usually has. Like this is
finger wag.
All right, I'm taking this off, putting this down. You guys can forget that ever happened.
We're gonna get demonetized.
I'm not monetized, so don't worry about it.
Right.
Yeah, but I won't get approved now, so because of that.
Yeah.
All right, so I think that concludes the Zelda level design. Let's end this thing with our final topic for discussion, and that is our best E3 moments. Right, so does anyone want to go first with their best E3 moments? I have one in particular that I definitely want to talk about. But if you guys have any you want to sort of like bring up right now, you want to be first, Brandon?
Yes.
All right, go.
I do. I feel like somebody else might steal this because I don't know how common this is, but 2014 E3 2014 was like somehow an actually really, really good E3 during the Wii era. Actually, my first E3 I ever watched, because I learned about E3, funnily enough, in 2013. This is like back in the way back where I was completely out of the loop about Nintendo news or anything. So, just to give you some background. So I go into 2014, no expectations, never seen E3 before. They revealed the next Zelda. They talk about Star Fox. There's like all these games. They have like this puppet show. It's like best. It was mind blowing. I was like, this is how E3 is every year. And of course, it was in E3 2015 came around and I almost cried. But man, I can still remember when they first showed off Zelda. That was, oh my gosh, the way they showed that off was just so beautiful. And they were like, you see that mountain back there? You can go to that mountain. God damn it! And I was like, oh crap, this is insane. And my mind was blown, and I was just like, they showed the Guardians off, and just like, oh, it's amazing. So I was like, my first E3, one of my first E3 moments was that. I was just like, that set the precedent for like every E3. I don't know if there's been an E3 moment as good as that yet.
There have been before.
Before maybe, but after.
I'll have to think about it, but that is definitely a special moment for sure. Like, you're already ready to jump in, Will?
Yeah.
Okay.
E3 2011 was it? When Reggie first said, "My body is ready."
Oh, yes. He created a meme. There are people who use that meme who don't even play Nintendo or even know what it's about.
Exactly. It made him a huge. They just transitioned him into like meme stardom. So like that was like the best E3 moment, like from that E3.
That was actually. It still kind of surprises me when I'm like, "Oh, my body's ready." He's like, "Oh, really? Your body's ready? Are you sure it's not Reggie?" And like they're just like, "What?" It's like, "Yeah, you don't know. You don't know the truth.
You don't know the way."
Oh, I knew that was coming.
Yeah,
I knew that was coming.
Had to do it.
Yeah. Amanda, do you have a special E3 moment that you want to talk about, or you want me to go before you?
I guess I'll have to say the E3 where Skyward Sword was announced. I think it was 2010, which is weird because 2011 they revealed Breath of the Wild. I don't know. I think I'm reading my dates wrong, but it was in 2010.
I think it was 2010 because 2011 was when they showed off the Wii U Zelda tech demo.
I don't know. I just know there was a big orchestra. I was like, oh.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
That was grand. That was glorious.
Yeah, it was a beautiful moment.
I went back and watched that after, like, years after, and I was like, oh.
Such a beautiful orchestra.
What was it? They played Ballad of the Goddess, I think.
Yeah,
probably.
So epic.
Yeah, and Skyward Sword was the first fully orchestrated Zelda. So yeah, it was beautiful. For
the
sure.
Best sound.
Yeah.
Well, kind of.
So I feel like I'm noticing a trend here. I feel like a lot of the big E3 moments are usually have to do with either Smash or Zelda, right? I'm seeing some people talk about Smash in the chat. We'll get to that. So, by the way, guys, we are closing down the discussion. We're getting, so, you know, if you have any sort of things you want us to get to or talk about, put them in the chat, right? But the biggest E3 moment, and it's the sole argument as to why Nintendo maybe shouldn't do directs. But I still think they should. But the one argument you have against that is this moment back in E3 2004, and I know a lot of you guys are a little younger, so you may have not seen this moment. But at E3 2004, I don't know if you guys noticed the thumbnail, but that thumbnail is for Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. But here's the thing. Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess was something else when it was shown at E3 2004, right? It was in that beta stage, right, where Nintendo showed off games a little bit earlier than they should, and it was something else. And when they showed this game off, it was so incredible because it had like this very epic Lord of the Rings style. Remember, Lord of the Rings is kind of fresh off its epic trilogy back during that time. So when we saw this, it was the crowd was screaming and jeering, like people were crying out of joy because we wanted a realistic Zelda after Wind Waker, and we got it. And that moment is just like, I had goosebumps. Like, I had a disc that came with Electronic Gaming Monthly with like the top like 20 Zelda games at E3, not Zelda games at E3, the games at E3, and number one was Zelda, and I just played it back like every day, and it's just the most crazy looking Zelda game compared to what our expectations were at that time. And just listen, guys, seriously, after this discussion, go YouTube E3 2004 Zelda live reaction or conference. You'll hear people screaming and crying.
I love the crowd reaction. Like, they're so like, I wish I was in that crowd reaction.
I feel really bad for those people because the game didn't get nearly as good as it looked like back then.
But everyone was just like, finally.
Yeah. I would say that the hype for Twilight Princess was a bit it was still a great game. Still a great game. Yeah. It hasn't aged as well as other Zelda games, but it's still a great game.
It was amazing.
Hey,
compared to other 3D Zelda games, man.
I still cried when I played Zelda. I still cried when I beat it. So
this isn't like an E3 moment, but like, did everyone here like look at the Game Awards last year? Like, just make sure. Okay. You remember the guy was like, I don't want to say the word, but he's like, F the Oscars. That was funny.
Oh, yeah, that's a pretty good moment. Yeah.
That was hilarious.
I mean, you know, man, like, I don't really watch the Oscars, like, but I'll watch the Game Awards. I care more about games, you know?
Honestly, I just kind of tuned out until there was a reveal, because I find the Game Awards to be so freaking boring.
Yo, the Champions Ballot reveal, that was so hype.
Yeah. The reveals are really cool, but everything else is not.
Right.
The Champions Ballad that day or something.
Yeah, it was like that night. They were like, "Oh yeah, download it right now. You don't have to look at this anymore. Download it right now."
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Oh, our ratings just went down. Yeah.
Thanks, Nintendo.
Yeah. Let's see what some of the people in the chat are saying. Hey, gaming gamer, game girls gaming. What is up? Yeah, this is Amanda from Mandy Lee Plays. Check her out in the description below. Someone's asking about you, Amanda.
What's this? That's like, who's that?
Yeah.
They were like, I'm going for like a couple of months, and I see this. Like, I'm reading the comments right now. Is this like your wife, Andres? What?
Okay.
I didn't see these chats.
Yeah.
That was funny.
Yeah, so Josh is like, hey, when Smash Bros. For Wii U and 3DS was playable at E3 2013, it was so good. It was Nate versus Sakurai. So they actually had like a tournament then, right? Not like a mini tournament in 2013. I'm not sure I remember correctly. Is that what happened?
I don't know. I didn't watch it.
I'm pretty sure that's what it did.
But the reveal trailer for Villager was hyped though. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, and Mega Man. Oh, but they hit Mega Man.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
My friend showed me all that stuff on the computer. He was like, I was like, wait, how did you find all this information? What are you doing? My friend never told me how he found out of all this information. I think he thought he was amazing because he knew everything and I knew nothing. So he would like know all this stuff, and I'm like, how the hell do you know all this stuff about Nintendo? Like, he's just like, oh, I just know it, and just like he's showing me all this stuff. I'm like, where are you getting this information? He never told me. So I come to find out there's like E3s and directs. And I'm just like, where are these?
There's this whole beautiful world for you to nerd out about, and you just
yeah. And then all of a sudden I became a Nintendo news YouTuber.
This was one GameStop manager spoiled that Duck Hunt was coming. I guess he misjudged the timing of it, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna make Duck Hunt, dog." And I was like, "What?" I was like, "What game are you talking about?" I was like, "That sounds stupid. Why would he be in Smash?" He's like, "What? They haven't shown Duck Hunt yet?" I was like, "No." What? Something you want to tell me? And he's like, "Oh no, nothing. Never mind." It was too late at that point, though.
Right. I guess as an E3 moment, when I first saw Link's design in Smash, I hated it. Smash 4, Link's design, I hated it. I absolutely hated it. I thought it sucked.
These are about the best E3 moments. What are you doing, Brandon? Just kidding.
These are just E3 moments at this point.
Yeah.
It's just so. I guess I do have one more good E3 moment, but you guys can go if you have anything.
I was gonna say I don't know if this was at E3 or not, but it was Palutena's reveal trailer. It doesn't matter if it was at E3 or not. It was Palutena's reveal trailer, and it was basically an anime like Pit versus Link. It was really cool.
I remember that.
That was an epic scene. That is. I wish they made an anime like that. Like that.
We need a Smash anime or a Kid Icarus anime or a Zelda anime.
What if at
Nintendo
E3?
Anime?
What if at E3 Nintendo announces a Netflix deal where they have a Smash Bros. like sort of like season on Netflix?
I would be upset because I don't know.
That would be weird because it doesn't have a story.
Ooh, I would like
make a story.
Oh, sorry.
Make a story.
Triggered. I'm triggered now.
I mean, they could make a story. I would love that.
But that's true though. The story hasn't been really that. They could though. Like, what if they got someone to write an epic story for Smash? You know.
I like the whole silent thing that they were doing with
True.
The emissary one.
That would be cool if they had like a Kojima story, like on top of like Smash Brothers. That would be insane.
What if they bring back Snake and then they say, "Oh, Kojima is working on the story for the new single player in Smash Brothers"?
That would be crazy.
Yeah.
Mario is like a Pikmin, and then he just somehow finds a way to make it make sense.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay.
Oh my god, that would be crazy, man. I'd just be happy about Snake being back in the game, but Kojima,
yeah,
I don't know, that'd be cool. That would be really cool.
Kojima's the secret boss.
Oh man,
he's master hand, crazy hand.
And then one of his attacks is stomping Konami.
It gets all like deep and philosophical.
That would be everyone's attack. Everyone should join in on that.
Yeah,
that'd be awesome. Oh, that would be great. Yeah, I like that idea. So there's one I want to talk about. It's really recent, actually. So when Metroid Prime 4 was announced last year, I think that sort of sent waves, throughout the internet. Even though Metroid historically isn't always the game that sells the best, like Nintendo fans have been waiting for the game. It's like our Half-Life 3. And when we saw Metroid Prime 4 get shown off, like the reactions were crazy. My reaction was crazy. I know my friend Andy from Nintendo Andy Coloco. Like, he had a live reaction. He was at E3, and like he recorded like everyone at E3 just watching it on a screen, and like everyone was screaming and jumping and just going mad. Like it was
hugging each other. Like, oh my, hugging random people.
Yeah, no, yeah, they were hugging random people. Like, can you imagine? Like, oh my god, like people are so happy you're just hugging strangers.
It was just like a wallpaper, so.
Yeah,
I wish they had like actual, at least a trailer, not necessarily a gameplay trailer, but a trailer to give a taste of what it's gonna be about.
Yeah, it was minimalist.
That was the sad thing about it.
I wasn't sad at all. That's all I needed. It was all I needed.
That was the sad thing about it for me personally.
I mean, the Smash reveal was kind of, I knew that from when I saw the Inkling people, I was like, yeah, I know what they're gonna do.
Yeah. Like when they looked at each other and they were like, we have one more thing to show, right? I was like, oh, Smash. Of course.
I was like, I know what they're doing.
Yeah. But
I say your tricks.
But they did a good job that during the direct, because there is a moment where like, all right, that's all, everyone, right? And at that moment, like that one frame before
disappointment,
we're like, what? That's it? Oh, that's kind of lukewarm, right? And then the other guy's like, wait, what? Are you sure? He's like, oh, actually, roll that clip.
They can't act for their lives, so I knew it.
Oh my gosh.
Nintendo.
That was a special moment for sure. So let's see.
I think Bayonetta being revealed was a special one too, though.
At the Game Awards, yeah, that was pretty cool. That was pretty epic, yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm going beyond E3 because I don't think we'll do a Game Awards top 10 list in the future. So it's just sort of
might as well get it out now.
Nintendo hasn't really
now or never
doing too much Game Awards stuff, so Game Awards hasn't even been around for 10 years, so it's kind of like hard to do that.
Fairly new.
Yeah. Let's see. So
I know everyone thought it was like dead, like it wouldn't happen again, stuff. So
yeah. So Vegeta said we need to see some more for Pokemon. Absolutely. I would like to. I think we talked about this last week, I'm pretty sure, or did I talk about it in a video? I'm not even sure. It's all blurred for me, but I feel like we're getting so close to E3 without having seen Pokemon. I almost feel like they'll save it for E3.
I don't think so. Like,
keep feeling that way, Andres.
Almost.
They can't.
I said almost. I didn't say I do.
That much epicness in one. People are gonna like pass.
We would die. We would all die. We would be like, huh, hip, huh.
I heard somewhere though that they legitimately plan on only showing 2018 stuff, and they'll show other stuff at a later date.
Because normally, say that like all the time, and they always show the next year.
Anyone that says, "Oh, they're only showing 2018 stuff," that doesn't make sense at all.
They never do that, right?
Yeah, they literally say that like every E3, and then they don't.
If that was true, we wouldn't know about like Metroid and Kirby and Yoshi, Fire Emblem, or we wouldn't hear about anything.
I just saw something that seemed a little extra, but it doesn't matter. But the point being, though, that what if they wanted to focus like even more so than before, and then they do fit Pokemon? Like normally Pokemon is shown beforehand, right? But because it's going to be on the Switch this time, what if they do it different?
Yeah, it's possible, but I don't think it's likely.
I mean, regardless, we're going to see Smash at E3. We're going to actually see gameplay. Like, that we know. Like, that's the first time. Pretty sure that's the first time we're going to see Smash. Like, at the video presentation, that's the first time we're going to see how Smash looks.
What if they reveal it and the graphics are actually, like, on par with what we saw in the reveal trailer?
Oh, man. Like, the lighting and the effects.
Yeah, like the white background and just perfect.
Oh, my God. Yeah. You know what I meant, Andres.
Yeah, like I would love it to see if it was like it seemed just like the CGI that we've seen in previous Smash games.
That'd be insane.
Yeah, but
I don't think it's possible.
No, maybe if it was on Xbox One X.
But I hope they have Breath of the Wild Zelda. Beautiful.
Yeah. You're right.
He will be my main.
Yeah. I would like to see like a Studio Ghibli or Ghibli, whatever, movie based on Breath of the Wild. Like that'd be like the sort of graphics of like Ni no Kuni, like that animation style.
What?
Right. I don't think the mesh will. Well, yeah, they will. I mean, the art style is very beautiful. So.
They wouldn't mess because Zelda Breath of the Wild doesn't have a story. Unlike Studio Ghibli.
Maybe.
Do you guys think Link should talk?
No.
Nah.
Ever.
Oh my gosh. Bye.
I think he could.
I think it would have been cute if he talked in Breath of the Wild though.
At least one.
Zelda was sort of flirting with him the whole time, and he said nothing, and I was like, wow.
Well, there's that one still where he's staring at her butt though.
I'm sure it looks that way. I'm sure it looks that way to perverts like Andres.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I'll be silent all the time, or does he talk but we just can't hear it?
Who, Link? Well, in Breath of the Wild, there's a book that says that he makes a vow of silence. Like, they actually explained it in Breath of the Wild why Link is silent. At least for that Link in Breath of the Wild, they explain why he's in particular silent, because he made a vow of silence because everyone is always sort of watching him as the hero. So
I thought he talked to other people, it's just we can't hear it.
Yeah.
He usually does in the other games. I don't know if it was a vow. I didn't understand it as a vow of silence. I just understood it as like he was like too much pressure.
I thought he was just, a quiet
reserved. Yeah, he's just reserved.
Well, a vow of silence in public, like, because Breath of the Wild, there are certain parts that show that Link did talk to Zelda. There's no scenes showing him talking, but there are indications that Link spoke to her in confidence. Yeah. So,
I just want him to talk, or maybe have a diary. I want to see, like, what's going on.
I mean, I feel like, and they sort of did that in Breath of the Wild. Like, they sort of touched on it. Like, that was the first time we ever saw any sort of, like, that was the most character development we ever got for Link ever. Breath of the Wild had that. Like, no, that's the most we ever gotten. So maybe they'll move in that direction.
They did a lot for Zelda. I was thinking they'll do
Definitely.
Yeah.
I don't know. I want to see my bae talk one day.
Because usually Zelda is really boring, and like I've triggered like a lot of people by saying that, but she's a really boring character. Usually, but this is Zelda.
Breath of the Wild.
No, Breath of the Wild. That's what I was gonna say. Like she sort of breaks that tradition because she actually is not a perfect Disney princess.
Well,
she's not boring in Skyward Sword.
She's cute. I think she's pretty boring.
I don't think she's boring in
my
Skyward
opinion.
Sword. She pushed Link off a cliff. She pushed Link off a cliff. How is that boring? That's my stance.
Do something random to be appealing. Yeah, okay.
She also jumped to save him too, so she's courageous, right? And she also fought back against what's his name? Groose. Groose. Yeah, no, she's kind of more like a damsel in distress against Girahim.
That's true.
I wanted to see at the end. Oh.
Right.
And then they pan out. I'm like, oh my god.
At Breath of the Wild, like they pan out. I feel like they hold hands at the end.
I've been analyzing that scene to death. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I want my ship to sail.
Yeah. I feel like that ship has to sail because everyone else is dead.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Is Groose dead?
Well, I'm from Breath of the Wild.
Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, from their time, it's just Link and Zelda. Everyone else is dead. So, of course, there's new people that are younger, but it's weird. So, I don't know. What if Groose was still alive? Nah, just kidding. That's just kind of crazy.
The fan manga is cute. I like it.
He kind of redeemed. Oh, I've seen that. I love that manga. I think Groose kind of redeemed himself towards the end.
Yeah, no, I think Groose is a pretty cool character. So, yeah. It would be cool to see, like, because I always have, I'm sure I'm not the only person who has a theory that, like, I feel like Groose's ancestry eventually led to the Gerudo, right? Because he has the red hair, he has the yellow eyes, just like the Gerudo, and I believe he flies off in a certain direction. I forget which direction, but supposedly I've heard that it's the same direction that's where the Gerudo Desert is supposed to be. So,
That's really like
yeah, that's
stretching it.
That's what?
Really stretching it like the whole direction.
Yeah, but he does have red hair and yellow eyes, though.
Yeah, I've heard some people talk about it. I guess it could be true.
Yeah, we'll never know. That's why I'm saying it'd be cool if they like sort of like expanded on that possibility, right? And showed how, like, if they had a sequel to Skyward Sword, basically, right? Where like before Ocarina of Time and Minish Cap and right after Skyward Sword.
Kind of like how they did for Wind Waker with Phantom Hourglass and Spirit Tracks. They kind of fleshed out what happened after they left Hyrule.
Yeah, and what if they?
Fan fiction. There's a lot of fan fiction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, do we have any closing thoughts, guys, before we say goodnight to the chat? Or if anyone in the chat,
I had one more E3 story.
Okay.
I can do it real quick. But E3 2014 was actually one of my first times I ever saw a Xenoblade game because I saw X. And let's make this fast so it's not going on for too long. But that was kind of how I found out about it, because I found out about X, and then I saw Gaming Explains discussion with Chug Conroy, which I had already watched him before, and then I figured out he was doing a Let's Play for the original, and so I watched that, and that's when I kind of fell in love with Xenoblade, which is my favorite JRPG of all time. So interesting how that where X actually led me to the original, which led me to loving the entirety of the series.
Cool.
Yeah.
I just can't get into that series.
I need to get.
What are we gonna do with you, Will?
I don't know.
Throw him down a ditch. With Bruce.
And the boring Zelda, because no one would miss her.
No,
Oh.
you can't. No, she's staying above ground. Yeah.
You can throw every Zelda but the Breath of the Wild Zelda, and I'll be cool.
Skyward Sword, Zelda's best Zelda. Fight me, bro.
Oh, okay. I like Wind Waker Zelda because she's
awesome.
She's a pirate because she's a pirate, which is awesome. Yeah, she's pretty cool.
Right, but there's still no like story arc there. She's kind of perfect and boring. I don't know.
Jeez, a hater.
I'm not a hater.
Will is the Zelda hater.
There's no story arc there. Okay.
Well, I mean, it's just I feel like
I
the
see your point.
story in Zelda in general it just hasn't been that extensive. So you kind of have to characterize it in your head, or you're right, they will be kind of plain.
Like the Zelda from Zelda 1 is kind of obsolete. Like,
yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But I guess that's it, guys. Actually, I'm seeing that Zach is back is saying he would like to see Pikmin instead of Smash featured as like the theme at E3. I would love that because they could make a huge, like, beautiful organic world.
That'd be cool, but I feel like I'd rather have Smash because I feel like they could do a bunch of really cool stuff for that.
Well, I don't know what they'll do because they have so much they can do. Actually,
I feel like Pikmin's not big enough series, not over Smash.
Right. I think they could take any Zelda game and any Zelda game. I just want Zelda. Any Nintendo game and really, go crazy with it and make it really cool. So
Sure.
But the thing about Smash is that it encompasses all of them. So I wonder how they'll portray that at E3. I'm really, if Will was going there, would have been able to vlog it, in his Kirby costume.
You're just pressuring Will constantly. Go to E3.
Yeah.
So much money will be spent.
Yes, it will.
You will spend the money, and we shall not pay for it.
But yeah. Anyways, everyone, thank you so much for watching. If you, I strongly recommend you guys check out everyone here. Then check out their channels. Check out Amanda Lee Plays. Her link is in the description. Do you want to offer any sort of plugs or any sort of promotional words for yourself, Amanda, before we close things out?
I'm cool.
She's cool.
I talk about games and stuff. I'm Amanda. Why do I get shy?
So you don't think it was a good discussion? I see.
No, sorry.
No, just kidding.
I would love to be back on this podcast. So.
Yeah, we love having you, Amanda. It's been fun. And of course, guys, if you haven't seen Brandon or Will before, check out their channels as well. It's all in the description below. So, yeah, leave a like, subscribe if you haven't been here before, and we'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Peace.
Bye, guys.